I feel like my household gets rowdy the moment that I decide I want to record. But when I'm preparing, it be quiet. And so, if y'all catch me fussing, that's why. If you hear my child, that's why. All right. So, I did a previous video with you for the first episode of the podcast. And what I wanted to do is ensure that you have the theory that I wanted to attach to the podcast. And so today in this video, we're going to talk about the Erikson stages of emotional psychosocial development. Okay. Um, because this is the framework, this is the baseline, this is the foundation in which the topics that I am going to bring up in regards to motherhood, the conversations that we're going to have in regards to motherhood is going to be centered around. And so, anyways, let's begin. Hi, Mama. Yes, I understand, baby. You know, uh, this Miss Rachel toy and the baby is going to be all up and through this video, okay? And first of all, these lashes is getting heavier heavier and heavier. I have never seen something this long. It is bothering me because I could see it in my vision. Like, so it just makes it looks like, who turned the lights off? Dim the lights low. Turn your lights down low. And so the lashes makes me feel like it is nighttime. This is an after dark conversation and things like that, even though it is still daylight. Because I'm still using natural lighting. All right. And so let's get into it. Who is Erikson? Okay, so Erikson is a German psychoanalyst. For the girlies, it's like, what the fuck is a psychoanalyst? Let me tell you what a psychoanalyst is. It's me, bitch. I'm just kidding. No. Okay, so basically, he studies people. He studies and analyzes the psychology of people, right? So it's like psychologists, but they're just analyzing and going deeper and coming up with different theories and functionings and reasonings for why niggas do what niggas do, why niggas nig, right? Why the folks gon' folk, why the people's gonna people. Okay. And so he believed that we as folks, we as people, we go through, if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my hefty notebook. Okay. And so we're getting into it. He believed that people go through different stages in life, right? These things that we go through life, it shapes how we address our emotions, how we think, how we connect with other people, and so on and so forth. And so, in motherhood, right? Just off that alone for a second, in motherhood, we're shaping somebody else's life. We're shaping and providing the framework, the groundwork for them, right? And what they do. And so, because we're doing that, well, we're doing that, and we are teaching them how to connect, but we are also learning how to reconnect, how to connect with people in a different way in which we were doing so before motherhood, right? Connections, before becoming a mommy, my connections were based off of, bitch, do you smoke, bitch? Do you drink? You trying to go out? You want to turn up? You like me? You think I'm cute? You know what I mean? Like, you don't like this bitch, I don't like her. Or we work here, I work here, we're here 8 days a week for 25,000 hours, right? We do this, we like to do this, we hang out with the same, our boyfriends hang out together, whatever the case may be, right? People have their reasonings as to why. Sorry, I am so fascinated by these lashes, because it looks like I have a wingtip, and I love that. And I'm thinking like maybe I should do that, but that's not. I mean, I can get mesmerized by myself when I look at myself in the camera, and then y'all gave me a mic. Well, y'all didn't give me a mic. I got me a mic, and so giving me stuff like this it's lovely. It's lovely. Hi, Mama. What's going on? 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 Ooh, ooh. Come here. Come here. Yeah, come this way. Yeah. Yeah, come this way. And then you can go to mommy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you can't touch stuff. Say hey. Say hi. Say what it do, baby boo. No, Mama, leave this alone. Yeah, say what it do, baby boo. You gonna do it? I'm gonna give you a kiss every time you touch it. Thank you. Stop. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. So, like I said, okay, hold on. Okay. Sorry, y'all. What is that on my chin? Applesauce. Careful. So, each stage of our lives, we're faced with conflict. So he says that we come up with this conflict, and based off of how our parents, particularly our mothers, how they've shaped our livelihood, how they connected with us during our early phases of life, determines if we are right on track emotionally to handle and navigate certain conflicts, right? Certain challenges that you are faced at each phase and age of your life. And so, baby, baby, can you sit? Yeah, you sit down, mama. And yeah. Okay, so competency in that particular stage of development, right? Um, it could set you up for positive connections, positive results, and things like that. But if you are stunted, if you are behind, it may set you up to having more conflict, more chaos, more shebangs and a bangs, right? Um, and so he stresses that our children, their social dynamics, their emotional dynamics is so much just as equally important as their physical developmental milestones. And so we focus on, okay, can she do the pincher grasp? Are they saying bye bye mama mama wah 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 wah? Are they pulling Are they pulling themselves up from the furniture? Okay, great. And just as those things are important, so it's about to leave it alone. So is their emotional state, how they are connecting, in particular connecting with their caregiver. Okay, so this is where those attachment style theories come in, those love language stuff comes in, all these things that impacts us. But by the time we're really seeing these things, we are adults, we're grown, and we're trying to date, right? We're trying to make new connections, and that's usually when we see, oh, this person is trying to pick this phone up with these nails. Hold on, y'all. Bear with me. Sorry about that. Okay. Look how she looking. Yeah, you did it. So, bring this back here. So, so those was how his Eriksons stages of development, its theory is essentially setting us up for the frameworks of other things that we like to talk about in regards to psychology. So it's like I said, the attachment theory, style theories, and things like that. It's like, okay, yeah, it's good to point out that somebody has an insecure, secure attachment, or they're anxious, avoiding, or whatever it is, because they're not texting you back. While that may be good, while that may be great, he's like, okay, well, how can we prevent this moving forward? He kind of provides this solution. Through his theory, he provides a solution of like, okay, well, let's dig a little deeper. Okay, so not only, okay, so yeah, they may have insecure attachment because their parents weren't responding to their cries when they was 4 months when they were 4 months old. However, that's let's kind of dig a little deeper as to how that why that impacted them, instead of just seeing the behaviors that it caused. Ouch! I hit my own head. You want to get in there, girl? Oh. Sorry. Oh my god, it hurt my head. Okay, Lila, mommy's about to put you down. Okay, stop. Get in there. There you go, spider lady. Yeah, be free. Go roam. Go explore your horizons. Go, 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 girl. Go, go, Gina. I belong to nobody if it don't bother you. You can mind your business. Belong to nobody. Hope it don't bother. It works for me. It works for me. Go, Gina. Go, go. Okay, so yes. Honey, I be writing things down and then I be going off the dome and then I realizing that like they both be in sync and I be like, oh my boy, look at me. Look at me. Sorry about all the changes in the dynamics, you guys. This is a judge-free zone. Okay? In order for it to get to the Warner Brothers studios, it it gotta go through the trap. Okay? It gotta go through the things. This microphone is like an alter ego for me. Like, I love it so much. I love it so much. Okay, so There's 8 stages of development, and depending on how old you are, is when you're supposed to be working towards accomplishing and achieving those milestones emotionally. All right. So, like I said, a baby needs to learn how to crawl at 8 months, talk at this month, talk at that, do this, that, and the third, right? We could see physical milestones. We could see if they are physically delayed. We could see all of those things, right? But it's hard to see and determine the emotions. We won't see emotional stuff till a little later in life when it's kind of a little too late. Enough, just let up the light. Okay, that's when a person has to actively do what they need to do. I'm gonna make it do what it do, baby. All right. So the first stage is trust versus mistrust. And so this is during your infancy to 18 months. So from fresh out the womb to a year and a half, right? My baby is 10 months with closest to her 18-month journey. So in this phase, during this time, she is worrying about trust versus mistrust. She is learning, can she trust the world through me by my responses? Can she trust that her needs will be met at any given time? Can she trust that when she's hungry, she's going to be fed? When she's wet, she's going to be changed. She's going to have a bath. She's going to have all the necessary essentials while she cannot fend for herself. Next time a person has to go through that trust and mistrust type of things is when they're an elderly, or you experience some injury or some health delays in a period, right? That's the whole purpose of getting married. We want somebody we could have that trust versus mistrust conflict with, right? Like, can I trust this person to actually completely fall apart with them? Can I completely fall apart with you? Can I trust to just derail and then bring it back up together again, right? And vice versa. So it's trust versus mistrust. The outcome here, the whole goal, the whole objective is to establish hope. That there is hope in the world, okay? That I have hope for the future, right? So this stage of a person's life, of a child's life, they are to explore and engage with the world outside of monotony, outside of mommy, outside of, all the things, right? So this is where their developing trust is based on the dependability and the quality of their child's caregiver. So how dependable, how qualified I am as their child, as their caregiver in this moment, right? So this is where, like I told you before in the podcast, in the episode, I told you, I told you when I said what I said, when I said how I said it, that I said, people are going to tell you to cry, let the baby cry it out. People are going to say that you're spoiling the baby. People are going to say this, they're going to say that. And you know what your baby needs. Like I said, people think that your baby is sleepy when your baby is hungry. They think your baby is hungry when your baby is wet. You know what I mean? And you know what your baby needs. Don't let nobody else try to outshine you. Motherly, okay? And so this is that time where you are the dependable, you are the quality. The baby is like, I know when I make this sound, when I go wham wham, this lady is going to figure it out what I need. I don't know how she's going to figure it out, but she's going to figure out that I am hungry. And I am going to try to give her different cues. And hopefully I am trusting and learning trust and learning the hope that she is going to tune into those cues and deliver. Right? And deliver. And so, if you are inconsistent, if you are emotionally unattached to the baby, things like that, then this is where postpartum depression comes in, right? If you're experiencing postpartum depression, you will struggle with this compared to anybody else, right? You will struggle to want to go and tend to the baby. You may be so disconnected from the baby, and the baby is sensing and feeling that. Now, however, I will say this, there is another theory called the good enough mother. I will do a video talking about that next. Okay. About the good enough mother. A child just needs one safe adult, okay? And so if you had to give your baby up for adoption or things like that, the safe adult will be great. Now, this is unfortunately people who end up in the foster care system are deprived of these things a lot of times, but people who aren't in the foster care system, okay? Period. So, yeah. So, if you have an emotionally unavailable parent, a parent who may be experiencing a lot of times this is women who've experienced abuse during pregnancy and postpartum, stuff like that. Um, this will establish a need of fear of exploring, and so the child may feel less confident in their ability to be curious and explore their territories around, right? Like right now, she is touching everything, throwing everything around, and things like that, right? And traditional motherhood, our mothers, I told you, don't let nobody bully you and peer pressure you into being a mean ass mama. They will be mad. They'll be yelling. They'll be screaming like, "Girl, what you doing? I gotta sit your ass down." Right? But we realize she feels safe enough to explore these things because I am emotionally consistent. She can rely and know that mommy don't be tripping about stuff like this. And so I'm going to explore. And then I'm going to go over here and try to touch stuff over here. Then I'm going to go there and I'm going to try to touch stuff over there, which then encourages and boosts my ability to explore other things. Then I'm not going to be fearful of exploring different books when it's time for me to learn how to read, different topics when it's time for me to learn different subjects in school, different religions once I get a little bit older, different hairstyles, different cultures, different this, different that, right? You're setting your child up to feel safe being Dora the motherfucking Explorer. Olos vamanos. Everybody, let's go. Okay, so let's go to stage 2. Sorry, I just don't know how to act. Like, I got these nails, and I'm just like, nails make motherhood feel so sexy. I'm feeling sexy. I want to hear you say my name. Okay, so autonomy versus shame. All right. So this is when they're 2 years old to 3. This is where they're learning how to be autonomous, how to explore the world a little bit further outside of mommy, right? From up to 18 months, all they know is me and mommy and me, okay? Where I'm at, you see me as her. You see her as me. Period. Right? Blah, blah, blah. All right, so this is um yeah, so like I said, this is where the caregiver is allowing the child to make their own decisions, some more autonomy. They're learning how to gain self control, gaining control over their life. They're focused on the child's sense of personal control. The child might want to brush their teeth. This is where you're learning how to potty train. Um, things like that, right? This is beginning to gain their independence. And so if they trust you and they know that you have this consistency, then they will be able to be like, okay, I could trust myself to do certain things, right? But if they, like I said, they're potty trained, so like if they're doing things and they're not doing it right, it could equal to shame. So emotionally unavailable mom, if she's being mean and nya 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 nya, it is now leading this kid into this shame of like shame of making mistakes, shame of like I don't want to go and do this because I don't trust that it will happen for me. You know what I mean? So like if they didn't trust that when I cried my needs were met by my caretaker, how sure am I to know my needs are going other things are going to be taken care of if I try it out myself, right? If my caregiver is scary, I'm sure the rest of the world is scary. Then I'm scared of that pillow. Then I'm scared of the dark. Then I'm scared of this. Then I'm scared of that, right? Then I'm scared of the dog. But if I know that I could respond off of the emotional state of my caregiver and knowing that they're gonna take care of me, I don't have to be scared if the dog is barking because I know my mommy's there to protect me. And when you respond to them and they know that their needs are going to be met, they're easy to self-soothe much easier. So if they're able to self-soothe, then they're able to self-explore, self gain more time in things towards self-sufficiency. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Now mommy only has one. Oop. Oh, you hit your head now. Oh, and you poop. We might have to make this video part two because there's so much going on. But we could just stop at those two. Um, in regards to just what we're related to the Mother's Day video, and so I'll come back later to go and okay, maybe I can go because now it's like it's even I need to change her. She'll be all right for until I finish the video. Oh, I hope you can hear me because I just been talking to y'all. You know, I wasn't in the mic, and now she's touching it. You don't have to touch my baby. So, anyways, so this is the control of physical skills. So, like I said, like pottying, they're learning to control their bodily functions, which is leading to the sense of independence. So, like I said, if they wet their pants, this is them feeling a sense of shame, especially if they have an emotionally erratic and emotionally unstable and emotionally withdrawn parents, caregiver, things like that. In the stage of autonomy, you want them to pick up their own clothes, pick out, they could pick food choices, their preferences, pick out their own clothes, pick up their toys, clean up, their little small messes and things like that. If they spill milk, is how you will respond to them spilling things and so on. Stop. It's like I'm back to the sleepy mommy. It's like Cinderella effect. You guys are watching the clock turning towards 12. In a minute, I'm about to take this ponytail off. All right, so again, there's 8 stages, right? Um, I actually, yeah, I want to make this like a maybe I'll break each stage into 2 stages of video or something like that. So we're just gonna just cover the first 2 stages, and then we'll be back for stage 3 and 4. Stay tuned next week.